Hello and welcome. Today I'm going to be picking out my February TBR using my handy dandy TBR jar. It's been a while since I've done one of these and I wasn't sure if I wanted to really do it so much in 2026 just because I'm trying to be intentional with the books that I read. However, I do still feel like I have a little bit of trouble deciding which books I want to read out of my massive TBR. With my 26 books that I've picked that I want to read in 2026, I figured I could use this to help pick books from those 26, from whatever other physical books I have on my shelf, my library holds, and the set of like 10 to 20 books that I've set aside as like the books I want to read next. Because I'm not going to read 20 books in 1 month. So I don't know why there's 20 books on my next reads. But I'm going to try and pick using these prompts from a more limited list than I have in the past. Because in the past it just has felt like the Wild West. Like I pick a prompt and I go through like hundreds of books that I can get from the library that like I haven't really considered much before. And I don't want to be doing that this year. Gonna be more intentional. That being said, let's get started. We need to do a little bit of ASMR, as always, to start this off. I'm nervous. I have like a few prompts in here that I'm a little scared to pick. Okay, so first I have an author I've never read before, which I do have a lot of books on my shelf that that's true for. Mainly the Illumicrate books because they're generally authors I haven't read before. So I feel like I have a lot of options for this actually. I think something else to keep in mind for February is that it's like the month of love, kind of. So it might be nice for like Valentine's Day to do like a week of reading romance. So I might try and pick more romance books this month. We'll see how I do. One book that just became available at my library on my hold list is Daddy Issues by Kate Goldbeck. I don't know how much I like it, but I've seen other people enjoy it, and sometimes I just see a book and I'm like, I want to read this, you know, and that's how I feel about Daddy Issues. I just like the cover, I think. I don't know. It has like, kind of like, it's kind of similar to like the Deep End cover that I have here, where it's like kind of comic book style. Though it's more like a realistic comic book. Also on my next reads list, I have A Dawn of Onyx by Kate Golden, which is more fantasy. I think people have been talking about it recently, though I don't know that it's that new of a series. But I have wanted to pick that up. Like, I don't even know how books get onto my TBR. I don't know what it's about. I know it's a fantasy. And I know people have been reading it more recently, so that's why it's there. I also have Belladonna by Adeline Grace, The Rose Bargain by Sasha Payton Smith, The Raven Scholar by Antonia Hodgson, Alchemize by Senlin Yu. Really a lot of books that I could pick for this. This is kind of overwhelming. I also have, I thought I could do a study in drowning, but I have read Lady Macbeth by Ava Reed. This is disqualified from the pickings. There's also The Poet Empress by Chantal, which I do want to read soon, so that is also a really good option. Oh my goodness. I kind of want to pick the other prompts before I lock in my final answer here. I'm kind of thinking either Daddy Issues or The Poet Empress. You know what? I'm gonna pick The Poet Empress by Chantal because this is like my newest book. I just got this like a week ago. But you know, I think that's all the more reason that I need to pick this up sooner because it's fresh, it's new. I want to be like on top of things. And I'm really excited to read this. It's also a standalone, which I love a standalone fantasy because I kind of get overwhelmed by the series sometimes. If this was a series, I probably wouldn't pick it, but I'm going to because it's a standalone. So what I know about this is that it's a magic system where they use poetry. Doesn't that kind of sound similar to Babel? Or is that just me? It might be because I haven't read either of them yet, but like, you know, Babel's the magic is from like the words in different languages, like the translations, and this is like poetry. So they're both like word-based magic systems. And I'm kind of curious like if there's overlap in kind of how the magic works. But I would have to read both of them to figure it out. They are both on my 2026 TBR. And is another good reason to pick The Poet Empress, because I have to read it this year. So, first book. The first one's always kind of rough. Actually, it was not, like, it was a pretty easy prompt. Okay, next I have the most recent addition to my physical TBR, which is The Poet Empress. And see, this is why I didn't want to pick this prompt yet, because the last prompt, because this one is like a very obvious The Poet Empress pick. I'm just gonna see, because the only other books I buy are like from Kobo, like ebooks. Well, I could do this. So the other book that I bought recently is His and Hers by Alice Feeney. I think I have also bought that in the past week. So that might be the more recent one. I'm gonna go with His and Hers by Alice Feeney for the most recent addition to my physical TBR. I don't have the physical copy, but it's on my Kobo. So that feels like physical enough. The only other option that I would do is using The Poet Empress for this prompt and then Daddy Issues for the last prompt. But I do want to read His and Hers soon, because I think it's on Netflix. It might be on Netflix now. Let me double check before I lock in my answer. Okay, yeah. So it was just released like the beginning of January on Netflix, so I can read that. I wanted to pull it up on my Kobo, but I guess I can just put a picture of it right here. Okay. His and Hers by Alice Feeney, which I might have gotten more recently than The Poet Empress, so. Next. The lowest rated book on my Goodreads shelf. Good. It's kind of a worrying prompt, but it is an easier prompt. I'm gonna start with my physical TBR shelf, but I'm still only gonna go with the books that are like either physically here or like at hold on my library, or like I've already said that they're one of my next reads, because I do know I have other books on here that are rated low that I don't want to pick up. Okay, so I could read Never by Jessa Hastings. That is one of the lowest rated books on my physical TBR. It is the lowest rated book here. It's a 3.25. It's not awful. I'm gonna check some of my other shelves just to see, but I think it'll be this one. So for the lowest rated book on Goodreads is Never by Jessa Hastings, which I think this is a good read for this month. I don't know. I mean, it definitely looks like Valentine's Day coded, you know? It's a very pretty cover. And it is a romance, so I'm pretty happy with this pick, honestly. So I've picked 3, so 2 left. This has gone pretty fast, actually. Next book in a series that I'm in the middle of. We could do another Jessa Hastings. We could do Daisy Hates. This is on my 2026 TBR, so this is an option. But I don't know if I want 2 Jessa Hastings books on my February TBR. Like, of 5 books. That's kind of a large percentage. I don't know if I actually have, like, any others. There's also The Love Wager by Lynn Painter. It is technically the second book to Mr. Wrong Number, but I think they're very, like, much so interconnected standalones. It's kind of less of a series. Oh, we also have Throne of Glass, but that's a commitment. I'd have to think about that one. So our 3 options are The Love Wager by Lynn Painter, which kind of questionable saying that's a series, but it says it is on Goodreads. We also have Daisy Hates by Jessa Hastings, which, do I want 2 Jessa Hastings books is the question. And then we have The Throne of Glass, which, if you see my 2026 TBR video, you'll know that I want to read. I've been waiting to read Throne of Glass like all in one go. I've already read Assassin's Blade, and Throne of Glass, but I want to like reread them and just like go through the whole series. So picking Throne of Glass is like picking 7 books, and I have to do it eventually. It might be a good time to start it, like end of February. It's really Throne of Glass or Daisy Hates, I think. Like, I really don't want to pick Throne of Glass, but part of me is like, if not now, then when? You know? Like, if I'm not going to start it in February, which means most of March will be Throne of Glass, probably get us into April. Okay, I think I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to pick Throne of Glass. So 7 bucks on the TBR. I will read it like at the end of the month. Be on the lookout for that. Last one. I just broke it. Okay. So my last one is a book on my failed to read by end of year list, which is from 2024. So it's a little old. I feel like I only have 4 books on this. I have The Road of Bones, The 13th Child, Of Jade and Dragons, and Babel. I don't want to start a series. So it would be The 13th Child or Babel. Dude, this is gonna be a really intense month. I'm gonna pick Babel, which I've been putting it off for like years. I don't even know why. I was really excited to read it, and then I just didn't read it. I was like, oh, I should read it in the fall. And then, you know what happens. Fall comes and then fall goes. But I also think it would be fun to read The Poet Empress and Babel like near each other, just because they're similar magic systems. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Poet Empress, Babel, and Throne of Glass just feels very ambitious. I don't know that I've picked a very Valentine's Day-y TBR. I mean, the Poet Empress, it does have romance in it. I think I've heard that it's not really a main focus of the book, the romance, so it's more of like a subplot, I think. A sparkle of romance in this one. A lot of romance in this one. And that's it. Throne of Glass has some subplots of romance. His and Hers, I mean, kind of implies romance, but I think it's more of a not really a romance, more of a thriller. More of like a domestic thriller kind of vibe. So I don't know that really gives Valentine's Day unless you're like going through a breakup. Those are my books. Those are the 5 books that I picked. Poet Empress, Babel, Throne of Glass, Never, and His and Hers. A very packed month. Very interesting month. I'm really excited about each of these. I do want to read all of these. I'm kind of scared. I'm a little scared. That's my February TBR. Let me know down below what you're planning on reading for February. Do you have some romances picked out, or are you not doing that this month? Let me know. Bye!